Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Learn Forever. Today we are gonna learn about units and dimensions. This is my first video on YouTube. I hope guys you will like it. Let's get started. Uh, so for the introductory part, I have written some points and I will share this whole PDF with you guys. The word science has been derived from the Latin word scientia, whose meaning is to know. The fundamental parts of science is called basic science, and the application part of science is called applied science. Science is ever dynamic. There is no final theory or one unquestioned law. So we know Newton's laws, and then we found that Newton's laws have some limitations, and then the revolution of science or whatever we say physics is uh, not stopped at Newton's law or any kind of laws. Uh, and today also we are developing some theories, laws, research programs are going on there. Nowadays we are dealing with quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and now we have quantum. We are developing quantum processors, quantum computers. We are in day-to-day life use classical computers who have classical bits, but today we all are focusing on quantum computers because they are faster. They give results in very few times in comparison to the supercomputers. So undiscovered science is for us miracle or mythology. Think about 1400 BC or 900 BC. Uh, Television, telephone are very uh, are not there, and they are just the imaginations for them, and they think some mythologically or miracle some things are happening, or if you can connect within a fraction of second from here to thousands of kilometers away to your friend, then they think this is a miracle. But today we can connect with anyone at any time. uh, just like that, you can say medical science, things like that. Undiscovered science is for us miracle and mythology. The word physics has been derived from Greek word physis, whose name is nature. Actually, physics is nothing, just the laws of nature. We just study the nature and then we just write them, and we study more and more. We research about these things, and then we find some laws. And in physics, everything is done with the help of mathematics. So we can say mathematics is the language of physics. You cannot derive any physical laws without the mathematical proofs. So physics deals with matter, energy, and their interaction. Study of physics before 19th century is called classical physics. Just like you can say mechanics, heat, and light, electricity, etc. Mathematics is the language of physics, as I have said before. So now coming to physical quantity and measurement. Quantities related to any physical phenomena and measurable are called physical quantities. The basic quantities are fundamental quantities, and other obtained from these quantities are derived quantities. Later I will explain what is physical fundamental quantities and what are derived quantities. Measurement is the comparison process of the quantity with reference amount of nature. This reference amount is called unit. Suppose you are going to a shop and you just ask the shopkeeper that give me 1 kg rice or 1 kg dal. That 1 kg you are using, that is the kg, a kilogram, that is called the unit. Suppose you are traveling to some friend's house, and someone asks on the road about some place, and you just say go there. After 2 kilometer, you will find that chalk, and you turn left there. And that 2 kilometer, the kilometer word used, that is called unit. Measurement is necessary because physics deals with quantitative description of the phenomena. You cannot say use, or you cannot live your daily life without measurement. Just like you just think about your home, and your mothers are cook, mothers or father are cooking. Uh, then ask them about, suppose you are making rice. So how they measure? They may use kitchen scale to you kitchen scale, or they may use some container or glass or any type of dish to measure their rice. How much rice they should cook for one day. That is the measurement. Without measurement, you cannot say anything. Just like you say, you have to go to from one place to another, and you don't know about how many kilometers between the two places, the distance between the two places. Then how can you plan for the journey? It will be difficult for you. Physical embodiment of any unit is called standard. So units of fundamental quantities are called fundamental units, and units of derived quantities are called derived units. The fundamental quantities are those quantities which cannot be cannot be derived from other quantities. They are just basic quantities, and with the help of these quantities, we just derive other quantities. I will explain later. Properties of unit and standard. They are well defined, easily reproduced, unchanged with respect to time, should not be changed with respect to external conditions like temperature, pressure, chemical reactions, etc. It should be accepted by all. You cannot say that you define a unit, he just define unit. There is a international definition about which unit should be used for which type of measurements. System of units. There are four system of units: CGS, MKS, FPS, and SI. CGS is the Gaussian system in which centimeter, gram, and second are the units of length, mass, and time. MKS is the units. MKS system. It is meter, kilogram, and second. Similarly, FPS is foot, pound, and second. It is the British system. Length, force, time, respectively. It represents length, force, and time. Then coming to SI units, we in general use this SI unit. SI is a system of international unit in which there are 7 fundamental units and 2 supplementary quantities. I will show you in next slide. So here, the basic fundamental quantity. These quantities are basic, means you cannot derive them from any other quantities. Length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, quantity of matter. Their units are meter, kilogram, second, Kelvin, ampere, candela, mole. You can use those symbols m, kg, s, k, a, cd, mole, like that. And then I have told earlier about supplementary quantities. These are supplementary quantities like plane angle and solid angle, and their units are radian, steradian, rad, and SR are the symbols. A system is said to be coherent if the units of all physical quantities can be obtained in the system by using the fundamental units. So this is about how to be a system to be coherent. SI unit is coherent, but the other systems are not. That's why we prefer units. Different advantages of SI units are: it is coherent, metric system, rational system, because single unit for quantity of same nature. It is an absolute system, no gravitational separate system. Now coming to submultiples and multiples of SI units. You can see two tables. just like multiples and submultiples. Here in multiples, you can see deca, hecto, kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta, exa, zeta, iota. In submultiples, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto, atto, jepto, yocto. So suppose I say I'm asking someone that give me 1 kilogram rice. 1 kilogram means there is a prefix used before gram. That is what kilo. Here, what kilo represents the value 10 to the power 3. So you can say it uh, that the person can ask me that I have to give him 10 to the power 3 gram of rice. Uh, Similarly, you are using a scale. In scale, plastic scales you use in geometry box. You can see 15 centimeter. You in general that is 15 centimeter scale. Uh, then we can say that centimeter is what 10 to the power minus 2. Then your scale is what 10 to the 15 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. These things are useful. Just you can remember these tables for learning physics, and these will be helpful. Uh, let's take some examples. In this example, it is asking calculate the number of light years in 1 meter. We know 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 meter is equal to 1 light year, or we can write it as Ly. Then 1 meter will be 1 by 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 light year, and this much is the answer. Similarly, it is asking write 1 gram in 1 petagram. This is petagram. So beta in some tables of multiples and some multiples you can find beta is 10 to the power 15. So 1 petagram is equal to 10 to the power 15 gram, or you can write 10 to the power 15 gram is equal to, sorry, this is G, this is G, 1 P G. Then 1 gram will be 1 by 10 to the power 15, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 15 gram. So this much is the answer. Next, here I will give you some constants or units and their values. They are more useful for solving those problems. Just like say in 1 bar, bar is used to generally measure the pressure. That is 760 torr, TORR. In, then shake, one shake, it will be 10 to the power minus 8 second. Next is one band. It will be 10 to the power minus 28 meter square. Similarly, one AU, and it will be 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 meter. Just like that, in number 5, we have 1 parsec. 1 parsec, that will be 3.1 into 10 to the power 16 meter, or you can say 3.26 light year. And as I have said in the earlier slide or earlier example, 1 light year, or I can write it as 1 ly, that will be 9.4646 into 10 to the power 15 meter. You guys just remember these things, and it will be helpful in the calculations of problems. Usually, people do not make videos on these things, so I have decided to share this with you. Next is some important points. If any unit is named after some persons, its full form starts from a small letter and short form starts from capital letter. Unit is not expressed in plural form. You cannot say any example. I have written any unit in capital letter. It is just the small letters. While writing any derived unit, comma, hyphen, etc., are not given between two fundamental quantities. Just remember these points. You can relate these things while solving problems and or reading all other next chapters like vectors, energy, force, friction, heat and thermodynamics. You can see these things. Then coming to the important point, dimension, dimensional formula, and dimensional equation. Dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which fundamental quantities should rise in order to express the quantity. Uh, then the symbolic representation of the quantity in terms of the fundamental quantities is called its dimensional formula. The fundamental quantities are represented by bold capital letter. Dimensions are given right side to the letters, and it is enclosed by square brackets. Dimensional equation is obtained by equating the quantity with its dimensional formula. Dimensional formula of some physical quantities I have given here the table. You can find this in the link below the description. I will share the my Google Drive link where you can download this slide and the whole PDF I will share with you. Just have a look at this table. I have given some quantities, their dimensional formulas, and SI units. So we have learned dimensions and units. Now coming to type of quantities, we have four type of quantities in physics we generally use. Dimensional quantities, constants. They are universal gas, universal gravitational constant, Boltzmann constant, Planck's constant, any kind of constant. They are dimensional constants. Dimensional variables are what? Area, volume, density, velocity, acceleration. These are the dimensional variables. Dimensionless constants, they are purely mathematical numbers, just like you use in uh, calculating the area of circle, the constant pi. Pi is a dimensionless constant. And similarly, e, the exponential number, that is also a dimensionless constant. Then dimensionless variables, they are angle, strain, specific gravity. You just you have to just calculate the angle between two uh, lines. suppose you found 60 degree. There you don't use any uh, diamond or any units to represent the angle. You just write what 60 degree, just like that. So uses of dimensional equations, conversion of one system of units into another system. You can use dimensional equation for this purpose. So, for example, convert 1 Newton into 1 dyne. See yourself how I am doing this. We have given 1 Newton. It will be what 1 Newton. You know that is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. So, how I can derive this using dimensional equation? Look at this. So, let's take M1 equal to 1 kg. It's per Newton. Thought I can write it. Or Newton. M1 1 kg. L1 is equal to 1 meter and T1 that is equal to 1 second. In for dy, just you can write M2 is equal to 1 gram, L2 is equal to 1 centimeter and T2 is equal to 1 second. So consider these are N1 and N2. Now we can write N2 is equal to N1 whole into M1 divided by M2 to the power A. Similarly, L1 divided by L2 to the power B and T1 divided by T2 to the power C. It's not to the power. These are ABC here, just the dimensions. Now we have what 1 Newton. So N1 will be what 1 and this is 1 kg or you can write it 10 to the power 3 gram and 1 gram and here A is 1. Similarly 1 meter and it can be written as 10 to the power minus 2 meter or I can write the opposite. This is 1 centimeter and this is 10 to the power 2 centimeter and here B is 1 and this is 1 second and this is also 1 second and here C is what we can write minus 2. Why we are using ABC 1 1 and minus 2? You just know that 1 Newton is what kg meter or second square, you know that, and in dyne it is what gram centimeter second by second square. So here you can see what is the here you in kg you have power 1 in meter 1 but in second minus 2. Similarly in this, so these 1, 1 and minus 2 are nothing but A, B, C, values of A, B, C. So from that you can find it will be 10 to the power 5 times into. So like that you can solve other examples. Next is we can use this for checking the accuracy of formula. Suppose you have an exam, you know that Newton's laws of motion, V is equal to U plus at, where V is the final velocity, U is the initial velocity, and A is the acceleration, and T is the time. So take LHS. V is what? Velocity. Then what will be the unit? Meter per second. Meter per second. Or its dimension can be what? M0 L1 T minus 1. Now coming to the RHS part. U plus 80. U is what? Meter per second. Then its dimension is similar. M1 L1 T minus 1. And AT. A is what? Meter per second square. Its dimension will be M0 L1 T minus 2 divided by T. T is what? M0 L0 T1. And it will be what? M0 L1 T minus 1 plus M0 L1 T minus 1. And that will be what? Here these are not just variables, these are dimensions. These are dimensional formula. So adding these two, it will be, since these are same, it will be the M0 L1 T minus 1. There will be no prefix multiplied as a 2, 3, or you can say x plus x, 2x. It is not like that. So you can see the LHS and RHS are same. So this B is equal to U plus 80 is dimensionally correct, or the dimensionally accurate, you can say. For the derivation of formulas, we can use dimensional equations. Uh, Suppose take an example. Derive an expression for time period t simple of a pendulum, which may depend upon mass of bob m, length of the pendulum L, and acceleration due to gravity g. To solve this, we are given here that t depends on mass of pendulum, length of the bob, and acceleration due to gravity. Here we can write it as KMALB. K is dimension. Let's For the LHS part, what will be the dimension? For the T, it will be N0 L0 T1. It will be the dimension. For the RHS part, it will be what? K is dimensionless, so leave it. MA LV and G is what? Acceleration due to gravity. It means it will be L T minus 2 C, and it will be what? MA LV plus C T minus 2C. So now we can apply principle of homogeneity. Principle of homogeneity is nothing but you can see in LHS you have m is equal to 0, l is equal to 0, t is equal to 1, and here you have m have 1 and b plus c and minus 2c. These are unknowns. These are you can say variables, and equating the two equations you can have a equal to 0 LHS and RHS, and b plus c is equal to what, 0, and minus 2c is what, 1. So now we have a, and c is what, minus 1 by 2, and since we have c is minus 1 by 2, b will be what, 1 by 2. So we can write what now, e is equal to k, m is what, m to the power 0, l to the power 1 by 2, c to the power minus 1 by 2, and that will be t is equal to k root over l by g, and that is for. And now here we have derived the formula, and by putting a is equal to 2 pi, we will have e is equal to 2 pi square root of l divided by g. In this way you can derive any formula. So this much is the dimensional equation, uses of dimensional equation. Now coming to the disadvantages of the uses of dimensional equations. The problem is in conversion of one system of units into another. In checking the accuracy of formula, there are no limitations of the method of dimensions. But in the derivation of formula by the method of dimensions, we come across the following limitations or problems. This method gives us no information about the dimensionless constant in the formula. For example, 1, 2, 3, pi, exponential number e, etc. If a given quantity depends on more than three factors having dimensions, the formula cannot be derived. This is because on equating the powers of m, l and t on the other side of the dimensional equation, we can obtain three equations from which only three unknown dimensions can be calculated. As we have seen earlier, we have derived the formulas. We cannot derive the formula containing trigonometrical functions, exponential functions, logarithmic functions, etc., which have no dimensions. The equations which have no dimensions, how can we derive them? This is one of the limitations. The method of dimensions cannot be used to derive an exact form of relations when it consists more than one part on other side. For example, you can take s is equal to ut plus half at square. Suppose I will write s is equal to ut plus at square. I will leave half, but dimensionally s is equal to ut plus half at square is same as s is equal to ut plus 80 square. You can check it yourself. S is equal to ut plus 80 square, and this equation are dimensionally correct. Sorry for the handwriting because I don't have space, but I hope you can understand. It gives no information whether a physical quantity is scalar or vector. Uh, you know scalars and vectors, or you will learn about in the next chapter. So you cannot say from these equations that it is a scalar or vector quantity. So furthermore, when dimensions are given, the physical quantity may not be unique, as many physical quantities have the same dimensions. So this much for today. I hope you guys understood this topic. go through your textbook and solve some problems. In the coming video I will solve some other problems. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and please put a comment if you have any doubts. I will answer them happily. Thank you everyone.